of Tic Tac is at Ramen Noodles behind you. Oh, ramen noodles. Are those ramen noodles, Lenny? Let me help you with that. And yes, those are ramen noodles behind me because ramen noodles are the shit. For those of you who don't know, what does he mean by the shit? Like the good shit or the bad shit? The good shit. Let me explain. Here, I have beef ramen noodles. See this? Egg noodles are fantastic. If you can afford them, Moon Monster. Keep in mind, not everybody's as well endowed financially as you might be. I don't know. So these ramen noodles cost me like a couple bucks. I don't know. It's like $4 or something. It's a 12 pack. Now, how long do you expect to survive on 12 of these? I mean, they got 300. What the fuck, really? 370 what? 370 cals per serving or per package. So 3 of these a day is enough to keep you alive. Now, notice I didn't say healthy. Notice I didn't say ready to climb Everest. But what we're talking about here is we're talking about the fact that literally, just look this stat up today, 40%, that's approximately, 40% would be about 150 million people in the United States. 150 million people in this country do not have $500 cash that they could come up with right now. They don't have $500 cash. Now think about that for a second. Now, what does that mean to me personally? Well, I mean, only the obvious. As an American, that fucking makes me mad. It pisses me off. It makes me angry. That's bullshit. It's not because 40% of the people in this country are lazy, worthless turds. That's not the case. You can't say 40% of this country. Think about that. 150 million people. So 75 million Democrats and 75 million Republicans are worthless pieces of shit? No. Period. That's just not true. There's a small fringe group on both ends that are a bunch of fucking weirdos. And then there's all of us in the middle. And all of us in the middle. That's the United States of America. And of course, you got to have the fringes. You got to have the fringes. Fringes are cool, as long as they don't get too close to you. What timeline am I on? So here's what I'm saying, guys. There's 150 million Americans in this country right now that don't have $500 cash. Couldn't go to their bank, couldn't get it, don't have it. That's 150 million people. Fuck, man, that's not right. That's not right. I'd love to fix it. How do we fix it? Well, we got to get, yes, this is ramen. Yes, I'm holding it like I love it because I do love ramen. I can't eat too much ramen. I unfortunately figured that out in the last couple months by putting on about 50 pounds. Not joking. Literally put on 50 pounds. Yeah, because I thought, well, let's see what happens if I've got to live on ramen. So, what I found out was I found out that I'm going to have to be very, very, very careful. If the power goes off, I'm not going to be able to eat a lot of ramen because I instantly store this shit right around my waist. But here's my point. Yeah, start walking. It's a little late now, carrying an extra 50 pounds, barely stand up, but it'll go away. I've been here before. And people are like, oh, but gaining weight and losing weight and gaining weight and losing weight, it's really bad for you. There'll come a time very soon, I'm sure, where they will figure out that the human body was designed to gain and lose weight constantly based on, like seasons maybe. And in the spring and summer, we eat like pigs because there's so much food. And in the wintertime, we're used to starving a little bit. So it is what it is. Bottom line is, I've got this ramen for a reason. Until the United States of America shoots all the lobbyists and sinks all of the lawyers to the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean, which, by the way, was not me. I'm not saying that. It's not hate speech. Shakespeare said that. So, look, if you're going to censor somebody, censor him. Donald Trump does not love me because I am not Israeli. This is how you start prepping for the shit hitting the fan. Now, I know. Is it the best thing in the world for you to eat? Obviously not. But so what? So what? You want to just, well, it's not good for me, so I'm just going to die instead. No. If you are broke, you're going to eat like a college student. That's what you're going to do. This is how you start prepping. Go to the store, not 6 months from now. Go to the store tonight. Go to the store in the morning and buy a couple of these. Now, if you're a vegetarian, they make chicken too. So you can get chicken if you don't like having muscles. I'm not saying all vegans are weirdo rainbow warriors. Yes, I am. That's what I'm saying. Sorry. Tuna fish canned. By the way, thank you, Earth Angel, for bringing up tuna fish. There's a video of me on YouTube that you can go see right now where I'm eating tuna in the year 2021, I believe, or 2022. And that tuna expired in the year 2000. So I open a can of tuna that expired almost a quarter of a century before I opened it. And yes, I eat it. Now, just to be clear, it wasn't quite like off the dock kind of fresh. Like it wasn't like I went to, I went to Morro Bay, California and went to Zeke's Wharf and said, hey man, what'd you guys bring in today? Give me a little of that. No, it was not like that. It was more like, okay, Jesus, I've really tried not to hurt anybody's feelings today. Please don't let this kill me. Luckily, I ate it right after I got out of bed, so I could say that I hadn't hurt anybody's feelings yet. No, I'm brave. That's funny. There's a very fine line between brave and stupid. So, and I crossed it years ago. Years ago. Look, I should not be riding the fastest motorcycle ever built. That's not a good idea. Nobody at any age should be riding that, especially in Phoenix, Arizona, where all winter long, you have people with blue hair who are way into bonus rounds. Like they should have died 30 years ago and they know it. So they're in bonus rounds. They're ready to go at any time. So they're either going to make it to the blue plate special by running the red light, or you and them are going to go meet St. Peter together. They don't give a fuck which one it is. So you got to keep that in mind when you're riding around here. The most dangerous animal in North America is a blue-haired Buick, because a blue-haired Buick weighs about 5,000 pounds, has the same power as 280 horses, and will charge you for no reason. Nobody knows why. Yeah. Oh, those left turns, boy. So many of my friends have T-boned people. And some of them, they tell the story after they get out of ICU and they say, I made eye contact. They made eye contact with me. I gave them a nod. They looked at me. They were like, yeah, go. And then it's like, oh, why did I nod? I don't know. And then they just turn left in front of you anyway. They run over after they've tried to kill you, and they profess how sorry they are that it was an accident. But they did make eye contact with you before they turned left in front of you. You just never know. So that's why you have to assume that you're invisible all the time, because you are invisible if you're on a motorcycle. If you're on a scooter, I think they actually get paid to run you over. I'm not sure. Hospital food's delicious. It really is. I don't know why the chili at Banner. The Banner hospital system has fantastic chili. Why do I know that? Am I supposed to know that? What did I do this time? Holy shit, I'm getting restricted for something. What the fuck did I do this time? I got my visibility restricted. Now, why am I getting my visibility restricted? What did I just say? I'm just talking about doing dumb things. That's called, I have testosterone. Well, my racist remarks about who? It's not racist. It's ageist. And besides, I wasn't making fun of them. Hey, they know where they're going. Look, they're happy. They're happy people. You're giving bad advice. Look, my advice is just know that you're invisible and that blue hairs hate you. Enjoy your time off. Yeah, what the heck? It's a joke, guys. Who's reporting me? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Doug. God. All right, so silver's up 5% in the last week. Buy it at the TikTok store. Don't buy it from me, even though I'm way less expensive. Buy it from the TikTok store, because the TikTok store is amazing. And here's the great news. Even though every single one of the ones that I've clicked on so far, every single one was a scam, not all of them are. Ramen is shitty. Clearly, you never went to college. Obviously. No one accepts silver anymore. Mac. And it doesn't matter that it went up 147% in the last. Oh, wait, it's more than that now. Coming after you for that, Mac. Yeah. 147.94% in the last year. Oh, Mac. You're really calling the artillery in on yourself, aren't you? Because clearly you're a used vacuum salesman and you're talking to somebody who's been studying econ for 35 years. So now, because of the war, yes, inflation's at 10%. But inflation actually wasn't that bad until we started a war. Now that we've started a war, yeah, it'll be at 13% here shortly. It's actually at this very second, producer price index set aside, because that was total horseshit. So why gold and silver go up? So why? Oh, gold. Why do gold and silver go up? Gold and silver go up the more that they print worthless money. So we just did this last night. Unfortunately, you weren't here. So blockades. They're only painful if you actually don't ignore them like everybody did today, or at least the Chinese did. Okay, so we did this yesterday, just to put it in perspective. In the year 2000, silver was at $5. The average home price was $189,000. And so it would have taken you 38,700 ounces of silver to buy a house. Now, if you take that same 38,700 ounces of silver times the going rate for silver, you come up to $3.3 million. The average home price is $405,000 now. So clearly, your economics are off, Mac, because inflation, no, that's not how it works. The more money you print, the less each dollar that you print is worth, obviously. If I've only got 100,000 of something, it's worth a certain amount. If I go make 100,000 more, it's now worth half as much. I know, John, that's what I get paid for, man. I get paid for having a good memory for, I mean, these are the numbers that the other thing is this is what I do for a living. So, I mean, all of this stuff, it's like if you're a carpenter and you're doing measurements on a house, you get into the flow of it. You remember certain things. So, but yeah, I mean, the idea that, and let's do this backwards. Let's go ahead and let me go to, because I want Mac to understand this. This is important. So let's go to, okay, APMEX, silver rounds. Let's go to Buffaloes. Okay, so right now, if you buy 500 ounces from these guys, it's $91. So this is the key. 405,000, the average home price. 405,000. Hey man, where's my calculator? There it is. Okay, 405 divided by 91. Oops, back. 91 equals. Wow. Okay, so in the year 2000, it would have cost you 38,700 ounces to buy the average home in the United States. 38,700. Today, it would cost you 4,400 ounces. Not 38,700, 4,400. So here's my point, is that the price of everything in the whole fucking world should go down. Should always go down over time. That's why people say a penny saved is a penny earned. Now, what they mean by that is not that a penny saved is always going to be a penny. What they're saying is a penny saved is a penny earned, meaning you earned a penny on your penny. 2 pennies. A penny saved is 2 pennies. How? Because you're using real money. Remember, this is something that our great-grandparents said, not our mom and dad. Or they might have said it, but if they said it out of just sheer repetition. They learned it by rote and they didn't know what it meant. And so they'd say, a penny saved is a penny earned. No, it's not anymore. Not at all. A penny saved is 1/10 of a penny over 5 years. Think about it. Average home price, $189,000 in 2000, 405,000 now. Okay, so what does that mean? So if you hold on, if you okay, it's not that one. So if you've got 189,000 to 400,000, that's double. 22,000 for the average consumer car. Let's calculate that. Calculate what? Oh shit, let's do that. Let's do silver versus food, because that, I mean, let's face it, you don't have to own a house, but you better own some food at some point in your life or you starve to death. Okay, let's do that. Let's go to average grocery. Oh, wait. Average grocery prices 2,000. All right. Okay, now some of this will be a little skewed, and here's why I say that. Some of it will be skewed because, for instance, we give the last I heard, it was some ridiculous number, like 60 or $600 million a year to dairy farmers. The Canadians have a 90% tariff on all dairy in the United States. They just totally screw us. So to make up for that, the United States government gives the dairy farmers your money. So if you're lactose intolerant, joke's on you, because you're still buying milk. You're just buying it for me. Thank you. So, but milk back then was $2.50. Okay. I just bought a gallon of milk yesterday for $8.99. Yes, you paid for government milk. That's true. Yeah, the average grocery prices in 2000, $2.50 for milk, $1.48 for ground beef, 92 cents for a dozen eggs, 90 cents for a loaf of bread. Holy shit, I didn't even realize this. Like, this feels like I'm reading from a list from like 1900. This is the year 2000. And chicken was $1 a pound. Oh, God. I mean, holy shit. Yeah. Wow. That's just fucked up. That hurts. Really. Yeah, you see a gallon of milk, and of course it depends on what you're drinking too. Now Target milk, yeah. After 3. Let's see. Yeah, so here's the thing about milk. The reason that milk is different than all the other areas is because we subsidize dairy farmers in this country like you wouldn't believe, which they still have the highest rate of suicide in the nation for any kind of agriculture. Apparently being a dairy farmer is tough. It's a tough road to hoe. So I don't know. That rhymed on accident. Store brand. There is more prices. There is more prices. Milk. Yeah, here if you buy the crap milk, it's four something a gallon, and if you buy the organic milk, the stuff that actually is milk, it's $9 a gallon, $8.99. Yeah, well, I would buy crap for myself, because at this point, if I grow another tit in the middle of my chest, I don't care. You know, nobody's going to see them anyway, unfortunately. I'd like to change that, but I can't do that by myself. But my son drinks this stuff, and so I'm not going to let him drink a bunch of toxic shit. a bunch of glyphosate Roundup garbage. So because of that, I'm a little more careful. By the way, the book is ready. You can go to howtube.com, and when you look up Asset Security Group, my company, you can go to our shop, or what does it say? How does it say that? Go to HowTube, which I just did. Asset. I'm just going to hit asset and go to, there we go. Asset. Perfect. Boom. Asset Security Group. Welcome video. Okay, I don't care about that. But there we go. And then you can go to shop and products. Survival guide. I'll be darned. $279 for an ounce of gold in 2000s. Oh, I know. I remember selling some gold, and it was in the mid 90s. It was like $330 for an ounce. It's just, it's one of those things, man. And again, look at the deficit. Look at how much money we've printed out of thin air. Because if we want to go to, let's see. You can't really look up M1 anymore, which is a money supply. They do M2. They dropped M1 because it looked bad. Well, the thing is, if you love gold, then you should love silver even more, because gold has gone up by probably 1,500%, and silver has gone up by damn near 2,000%. Silver's better. It always has been. In the 70s, gold went up by 600% throughout the 70s, and silver went up by 700%. It always does. And the reason is it's more affordable. It's actual money. Now, is gold money? Well, yeah, of course. But is it money for you and I? What are you going to buy with? What you can buy with a kilo? You walk into a bar and say, "Hey, man, I'm going to tie one on." Yeah, you are, with 32 ounces or 33 ounces of gold. Yeah, you hope you got a big party. So it's not really practical for use between people. It can be used, but typically what you'll see bank transfers of gold if they have real currency, and you'll see interpersonal transfers of gold at banks. So, I go to Bank of America, back in the old days, and I say, "Hey, listen, I want to transfer, 500 ounces of gold to this guy." Okay, because I'm buying his ranch, so it makes perfect sense that I'm transferring 500 ounces of gold. Now, are they going to hand me 500 ounces of gold? If I ask for it, yeah, they will. But most likely what they'll do is they'll give me a banknote so that anywhere their branch is, I can go and say, "Hey, now I want my 500 ounces." Instead of taking it and saying, "Okay, I'm going to leave Amarillo and I hope I make it to Cleveland." Well, if anybody knows you have that gold, you're not going to make it to Cleveland, not back in the old days. So, so that's, bottom line. We're doing well with silver. Like I said yesterday, or maybe the day before, but I think it was yesterday. I said that we're back to looking at 150 if the war ends soon. If we all say we're victorious, we walk away, the Iranians walk away, everybody says they won, and whatever. Go home, lick your wounds. Then we're looking at $150 at least. Potentially 300 still. That $300 that everybody, well, not everybody, but I said it, and then a month later, B of A even said it. They said 304, whatever. I said 300. The reality is that it can get there, but it's gonna need a little boost. You need a little boost here because right now, what's happened to the economy, it's not obvious. It's not obvious at all right now. People don't realize what's coming down the pipe because we think in terms of what was it yesterday? What was it today? Okay, well, it'll probably be tomorrow. Okay, what's it going to be in 30, 60, 90 days? People aren't really worried about that. Like, what's my gas price going to be? Well, if the war's over, your gas price will probably be, it'll be going back. It won't be back down where it was, even though it should be. What will happen is all of the oil companies will bring it back down incrementally, very slowly together as they collude to lie, cheat, and steal from you, which they do all the time. But then eventually it'll get back down. Now, the moment there's any doubt, even though their prices won't shoot up for weeks or months, your prices shoot up instantly, just like they just did. Well, wait a minute. If that's the case, why am I paying more at the pump already? Well, because they're screwing you. They're lying to you, they're cheating you, and they're stealing from you. That's literally what they do. They own the United States of America, along with the defense contractors. Isn't it handy that all the wars happen to be in the places where there's oil? Gee whiz, who could have figured that one out? Now, on top of that, the fact that our benefactors, the people who make the decisions for who we attack and who we don't attack, also live in that neighborhood. That makes it kind of nice too. It's all very handy. It all, like, everybody that's in that cabal works together, and they all scratch each other's back, and everybody's happy. Banks make money. They're very powerful, obviously. The power industry, if you have power, you have power. Duh. And then, of course, the defense contractors, the people who kill anybody who says no. Those three entities together control the entire world. Now, I know you're thinking, no, man. The pharma's got a big no. Pharma's tiny comparatively speaking. And, of course, pharma is not owned by I shouldn't say owned by. The pharma doesn't own the Republican Party. Pharma owns the Democrats. It's the war machine that owns the Republicans. So regardless of what you identify as, you're wrong. Period. If you identify as a Republican or as a Democrat, you're wrong. You're neither. Because you're not allowed to be. Like, who are you going to vote for? A Democrat or a Republican? Because they're exactly the same people. Like, they literally do the exact same thing. So there's no difference. There are no parties anymore. There's a party, and you're not invited. That's unfortunate but true. Hey, just sold another book. Outstanding. Thank you, John. Oh, wait. John, I think you got one yesterday, didn't you? And I think that might have been last night. I have to go check. Is this where I check? I don't know. I think so. So, there is no two sides of the island. No, absolutely not. What's the book? The book is about how to survive the collapse of society that we're about to bring upon ourselves. Just so you guys know, I'm not guessing that this is. I'm not guessing that this is some kind of like wild, outrageous, spiritual. Satan's going to come and he's going to have these tin snips that are spiritual, but they actually cut through. No, all that shit's a distraction to me. I'm a science guy. Sure, I believe in God. Do I believe in demons sneaking around behind my back? No, bullshit. Bullshit. That's a distraction. People use that to distract you. The reality is, we are the demons. We are the angels. Choose your side. That's what you are. Period. You made the choice. Get tired of being who you are? Change it. Like that. It's that simple. So, I'm not talking about some spiritual thing where God decides to wipe the planet clean, blah, 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 all that. No. What I'm saying is Zeus Nitro, or excuse me, Nitro Zeus. Nitro Zeus is a computer virus that we designed, and it is absolutely the most effective tool ever designed. Basically, it's impossible to fix. If you control Nitro Zeus, you infect a group of computers. In this case, by the way, just so we're clear, it appears that every computer system, every SCADA system, which is a control system for like pipelines or dams or whatever, every single major computer system in the world, the whole world, is infected now. Everybody went around infecting everybody else so they could have control in case. Now, what does this Nitro Zeus do? You push a button and boom, you knock out all of their computer control systems, which means you knock out their grid, you knock out their water supply, you knock out, like, it's funny because it's exactly what Trump was talking about and everybody missed it. I didn't miss it. I don't miss much. He said, your civilization will end. Everybody went, oh my God, he's talking about nukes. No, he's talking about Nitro Zeus. He's talking about hitting a button and ending all of it in 15 minutes. The power infrastructure, the desalination plants, the water pumping plants, hydroelectric, everything is gone. It's all gone. That's it. You can't use it. You can't fix it. It's scrap. Could we do something that stupid to an entire civilization? Apparently, based on what he said out loud, yes. Problem is, they can do the same thing to us. They have Nitro Zeus, just like we do. They learned about Stuxnet. And if you know anything about computers, you go, oh, Stuxnet, that's what he's talking about. That's what started it, yes. And the problem, of course, is that now that everyone has it, if I shut down your system, you shut down mine. Poly P, pretty close. Nitro Zeus. Well, the Second Amendment doesn't do you any good if you're here and they're there. Remember that they hit the enter button on the Nitro Zeus, and they're in Iran, and computer systems like, oh, I don't know, the Colonial Pipeline. Anybody remember the Colonial Pipeline? Oh, it was a glitch. No, it wasn't. What'd they figure out afterwards? Malware. Ransomware, even. Oh, shit. Ransomware? You ransomed an entire natural gas pipeline? What? Are you shitting me? Did you guys hear about all those people they arrested for that? Yeah, me neither. So, when they talk about ending a civilization, that works both ways. Because there are a lot of people in Iran who live in major cities. Well, yeah, I mean, I think Nitro Zeus was probably started before that, but under Obama is when it went sideways. And that's because And you can actually, I believe there's a documentary about this. I'll have to look it up, but basically the Cyber Command of the United States was trying to use Stuxnet very carefully. What's happening, little Joe? They were trying to use Stuxnet to ruin the centrifuges that Iran had for enriching uranium. It worked. Unfortunately, the Israelis did it, and like most things they do, they did it half-assed, sloppily, and they screwed it up. And so because of that, within 24 hours, Ahmadinejad, the president, knew exactly who had done it and pointed the finger directly at us and said, the Americans and the Israelis, yeah, fuck this again. Yeah, well, actually, that's true. We did. So now they had Stuxnet. Oh, joy. They reverse engineered it and they figured out how to use it. And so now everybody has it. Everybody can shut down everybody else's SCADA systems, which are control systems. They're security control systems. And SCADA systems, if you know how to control a SCADA system, you can make a hydroelectric plant. You can make those huge 100-ton generators eat themselves, completely destroy themselves. Well, that's not good. Yeah, well, that's the problem, is that, we're doing a lot of talking right now, but I hope we just keep it at talking, because if we go any farther, we're not going to have a grid. And if we don't have a grid and you don't have my book, you're already screwed. Because one of the things in my book is how to prepare. One of the things I saw, by the way, I don't have it here. Shit. Let me see if I can dig in my memory here. It's the V2, the version 2. It's a funny name. It's at Costco. It is a solar generator and battery system that you can use the solar panels to charge up the system, and then use the system to run whatever you need. Normally, that would be about $1,300. They have them at Costco right now for $5.99. Not all of you can afford that, but if you can, get one and then put it in a Faraday cage. These are the things I talk about in the book. Go to HowTube, and when you get to howtube.com, which is HOWTUBE, when you get to howtube.com, then you go to Asset Security Group. That's me. And when you click on my channel, you can go to my shop, and it has gold and silver, which you got to call me anyway, or the survival guide. Now, this is a pre-sale, so you probably won't get it for about between 3 and 5 weeks is what the printer says. The book itself is done, finally. So at this point, I'm going to start advertising it, putting it out there. But basically what I did was I said, okay, let's just say you're not a Navy SEAL. Or in my case, you're not a master combat swimmer for the Marine Corps anymore. Let's say that you're just a little pudgy around the edges, but you have kids, you have a wife, you're in charge. Or even more importantly, you're a single mom and you got kids. Well, child support doesn't help when the grid goes down. You are child support, period. Like, what you have up here is all you get. So based on that, I'm the one that I've got now, and this is kind of cool, because if you're a woman and you pre-order this one, I am writing another book specifically for women. This is specific, not for Navy SEALs, not for Delta Force guys, not for those of you that are big, dumb, fat rednecks who think that you're going to put hot lead down range and you're going to take care of all the bad guys. Moment you fire a shot, you're dead. Period. When the grid goes down, there's no such thing as winning a gunfight. Period. Now, if you're out in the country, totally different. You got 100 acres in every direction, and you see a few guys in a pickup truck coming up your driveway, and you tell them, got nothing for you, and they keep coming. That might be different. Yes, Asset Security Group. Thank you, Polly. We do love the TikTok shop. But if you're in a neighborhood, just an average neighborhood, and you start putting lead down range, everybody that can hear that within a quarter of a mile to a half a mile, because remember, no airplanes, no cars, no hum of anything electric. It's going to be dead fucking silent. If there's no wind, it's silence. Period. No smell of exhaust, nothing that you would expect in a city. That means that the slightest noise is going to be noticed. 15 or 20 rounds going off is going to be zoned in on. First round, you hear it, you try to figure out where it came from. Sniper's advantage. Second round, you got your ears up, you're looking around, and you're like, came from over here. And now you've got a pretty good idea of where you're going. 4 or 5 more rounds? Man, everybody in the neighborhood knows what that gunfight is over. That gunfight's not over. You slept with my girl. Oh, you took the last beer. That gunfight's got to be over one thing and one thing only: resources, which means somebody's got them and somebody else is trying to take them. Can't light a fire. Not if it's a wood fire. I mean, look, if you happen to know everybody on your block and you live in a cul-de-sac and you guys decide, hey, we're going to, we're walling this motherfucker off with a bunch of broken down cars. We're going to push all these cars that won't start into a big heap. And then we're just going to leave them there. We're going to use the cars that do run to push them up against each other. And we're going to turn our block into a safe space. Okay. That's probably a good idea. That probably will work. If you do certain things. Because remember, if I come across a dead-end street and I look and there's a bunch of cars piled up, why'd you do that? Well, you got like a little neighborhood group, don't you? Well, you fuckers got some resources back in there. All right, well, we didn't know this shit when we built the grid. It's that simple, guys. It's not like, oh, this is some evil plot. Oh, this is the devil doing his work. Yeah, I knew exactly. The heathen knows where that was going. It's not like that. It's not like, oh, Beelzebub or whatever that shit, oh, the god Baal is going to reach out and piss fire all over the. No. It's very simple mechanical science. This is just the way it works. The sun has these outbursts. They happen all the friggin' time. I mean, there have been hundreds of thousands of them. Sun, basically, however you want to think of it. Sun sneezes, sun farts, whatever. But think about it. When you sneeze, God forbid you're in a room with a bunch of people and you sneeze where it's backlit. There's this huge plume of mist that comes out of your face. And it's like, oh my God, the whole room's going to be full of that shit. Yeah, well, it is. But if you're standing 4 feet in front of the guy who sneezes, now imagine that when you sneeze, let's just say that you're an ant. right in front of the guy's mouth, and he sneezes. Now, well, that's a little more serious, isn't it? I could damn near kill you. That's exactly where we're at. We're this little tiny speck with this huge sun, and when it sneezes, it blows this extremely superheated plasma directly at us. Now, a small solar flare, something you could knock out the grid, but relatively small, you could be standing outside. Would it kill you? No, not at all. A massive solar flare, yeah, it'll literally kill you instantly. We don't have solar flares that massive that often. They assume at this point, they, being solar scientists, assume, and you can do this through dendrochronology, ice cores, etc. They're looking at about every 1,000 years. Now, of course, the last one they call the Charlemagne incident, because Charlemagne, of course, who's a ruler of Francia about 1,000 years ago. Fuck, you can't make this stuff up. There was probably somewhere upwards of an X1000 flare. And an X1000 flare is absolutely nuts. Is Trump the Antichrist here? You mean here on Earth? Well, he's certainly not batting 1,000 this month, is he? Not putting your hand on the Bible and then portraying yourself as Jesus Christ himself. I mean, I've heard of people that have a morbid sense of humor, a shitty sense of humor. This is just beyond. Carlos, yes, if you left your silver outside, it would melt it. We have vitrified rock. Now, vitrified rock is an interesting thing because it's literally the outside of the rock has been blackened. It has been blackened and turned partially to glass in some cases by just an incredibly intense amount of heat. Here's the problem. And this is something that nobody else seems to study except for me and maybe Ben. Ben Davidson might know about this, but it's not something that he talks a lot about. But I study archaeology and solar science. So when I see part of the Sahara Desert, literally, no bullshit, not hyperbole, not exaggeration, but hundreds of square miles of the Sahara Desert is covered with glass. The sand has been turned to glass by such an incredibly intense amount of heat. Well, where does that come from? Now, some say, oh, well, it was a comet, airburst right above the ground. The heat from the bullshit. That's idiotic beyond even thinking about. Because the shock wave from that blast would not allow you to vitrify and then have a sheet of glass on top of sand. It just doesn't work that way. So, science. We didn't have the science. Oh, don't start with Anunnaki fucking Earth is a pizza stuff with me. Don't even do it. I know everything you ever want to know about Zecharia Sitchin, and no Anunnaki, no Enki or Enlil, no, can't. We're not going there. Yes, I do my homework, lots of it. So the Atacama Desert in South America, well, that's the thing. Some people said lightning strikes, but when lightning strikes the ground, like at the beach, like say in, I don't know, Sweet Home Alabama. It's a cute movie. Reese Witherspoon. I've seen Reese without her spoon. It's pretty hot. But anyway, Reese Witherspoon is an absolute fucking doll. I want one. I want one. But in that movie, they showed he puts lightning rods in the ground, and when it strikes, it turns a little bit of the sand around it into glass. That's true. That's the intense heat. That would explain maybe 2 or 3 square feet. A big lightning bolt, 50 square feet. Jesus, David, you're relentless. But it's okay. Well, John Allen, you magnificent son of a bitch, just sold another book. That's outstanding. So I've got 2 Johns already, that's how many I have in my house. I got 2 Johns. Now I got 4 Johns. 2 that I pee on. I don't know you that well, so not really my thing anyway. But where was I? Peggy, you're a saint. She actually is a saint. I've met her in person. That is very cool. I just got a restriction for bullying and harassment. Wait, who was I bullying? Oh, I like to picture Earth as a huge hot dog. That's a good one. So when I called him a magnificent son of a, the imbeciles at Tic Tac, they thought that was an insult and that I was bullying him by calling him a magnificent what. That's so sad. How can somebody who censors so much be so dumb? I just said the D word. Let's see if that gets me kicked. It probably would. TikTok being TikTok, that's exactly right. We do love the TikTok shop. I'm going to open a TikTok shop, and I'm going to sell fake silver just like everybody else does on this wretched fucking site. But that's okay. By the way, I'm selling 119,900 subs. It's been 2 years now that I've been stuck at that exact spot. 119,900. It will not go up. I just won't do it. That's okay though. I did see it drop to 19,800 and then go back up. So it is moving. Well, once in 2 years. So what do you do? All right. I'm going to go celebrate the fact that I am now an author. We can just keep between us as friends that I may not be all that bright, that I may in fact be the R word, but it doesn't matter because I'm an author. I'm like the next J.K. Rowling's. That's not her name. Rowling? J.K. Rowling? Anyway, T.C. Martin. T.C. Martin, by the way, is a sick son of a bitch. That is a sick, sick man. Brilliant. But for those of you who watched Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding thing, what? Like, I felt like I needed to cuddle a therapist or something after that. That was just like ultra violent nastiness again. Oh, I'm bullying. That's right. I got to be careful here. So bought the book at HowTube, Asset Management or Asset Security Group. I don't know the name of my own company. Asset Security Group, HowTube. By the way, I'm working on a landing page that'll take you there and do all that for you. It should be done by tomorrow. But in the meantime, it's nice that you can actually go and buy it. And And by the way, for women, we're not done, girls. I'm going to talk to some other security experts. Unfortunately, they're in countries that we're not supposed to be friends with or talking to right now because of what we've done to them. I mean, look, you don't find yourself in these conditions if the United States of America is your ally. But the problem is that there are countries, and some of these countries have nothing to do with us. We're not involved in the fight. It's not us. It has nothing to do with us. But these conditions exist, and these conditions mean that there are women with children or elderly women who have had to survive. And what they've done to survive is what I want you to know, because in a lot of these situations, you don't get a second chance. You just don't. Now, I will say this. Free advice has nothing to do with the book. Your odds of survival, if you live in an inner city, you live near downtown Phoenix, if you live in if you live in the southern part of Chicago, if you live in the middle of Houston, your odds of survival have dropped to almost zero. If you have the resources, if you live in let's say a moderately large condo complex, 5-6 stories. If it's designed sort of like the old brownstones, where you've got a center stairwell, which has to do with sight lines and shit I'll teach you about, then your odds go up dramatically because you have a rooftop. Remember that most of the chaos will take place on the street. If you're on the first floor or the second floor of a building, you are the most vulnerable. If you are on the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh floor, I wouldn't recommend staying in a building that is 10 stories or higher at all, because it's just too much. A lot of those buildings, especially older buildings like in New York City, actually have enormous water tanks on the roof. Well, there you go. You've got a year's worth of water for the people who stay, for the people who survive. And again, most of the people in your building, if they're obese, there's a good chance they're gone. If they're diabetic, if they have high blood pressure, if they have chronic heart disease, if they have, pick a bunch of different things, they don't make it. If you live in Phoenix, if this happens in the summertime, very few people are equipped to handle this. This is going to be absolutely brutal. There will be so many people that don't make it so fast. I mean, think about all the retirees. How many 125-degree days can they handle back to back? You can't shut yourself in. Shut yourself into a mobile home and you'll be dead even quicker, because it'll be 175 in there. What are you going to do? Lay outside? Well, you could if you've got the shade. So, bottom line is there are some tactics that need to be learned. Being in an inner city is, it's dangerous enough as it is today. Imagine the people that you have problems with today, that you're afraid of today. Imagine if there were absolutely zero police to restrain them in any way. I'd love to live in a Scottish village. Why the southern part of Chicago? Well, if you know, you know. I was in the Marine Corps. One of my best friends was from the south side of Chicago. And I would not want to live in the south side of Chicago if the power goes off. True. Very true. Yeah, that's funny. I hadn't thought about the Jim Croce song. Oh my God, that is hilarious. I hadn't thought about that. You're absolutely right. All right, guys, well, let me go celebrate. Oh, by the way, I want you to think about this. This kind of shit I think about all the time. See this? See this, guys? It's beautiful, right? Now, this is copper. This copper, funny, it smells like copper. Well, I got a super sensitive sniffer too, but it's weird. It's almost like the ionization or something. The Bronx, yeah, there's where you want to be, especially if the Earth's flat, because that's the center of the navel of the, yeah. Anyway, so this came from the UP, Upper Peninsula of Michigan. That's right. Good for you, you know. There are thousands and thousands of little shallow mines that are dug all around the Upper Peninsula and the lower peninsula where the mitt is. And you want to know something really crazy about this? This is bioidentical to only one place, Michigan. If I dug up copper here in Arizona, it would not be like this. It might look like this, but when I break it down, I'll know exactly where that copper's from. Why is that why am I even bringing that up? Who cares, right? Because this copper that was found in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan was matched to copper used in Minoan weapons 4,500 years ago. Chew on that.